How's it going, everybody? Jeff Slakey here, and I have got a great conversation. You are not going to want to miss a couple of shows that are on deck here coming up on the 12th and the 13th. Kristian Bush from the hit country band Sugarland is going to be performing at the Spanish Ballroom at the Elks Temple in Tacoma on Wednesday the 12th, and then he'll be live in concert for the Peace, Love, and Union Songwriters Series. This is going to be a huge event at the Robin Hood Village. We have a write-up in it in our latest issue of Tracing the Fjord, and this is very cool. Kristian is online at kristianbush.com, also sugarlandmusic.com. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am great. It's nice to talk with you, and fan of the music, so that's
Thank you.
great. And it's really cool to talk with you. I told my wife that I was having this conversation here, and she goes, "Oh, you lucky dog there. That's going to be very cool." So talk to me a little bit about what you have been working on these last, what, 52 weeks or something. You have put out a song and you have 4 albums out, and it's a culmination. And this is kind of your kickoff for the tour.
Yeah, so I had a crazy idea. The birthday that I had going into COVID, literally the day of,
Okay.
right? So like March the 14th, 2020, I was turning 50 years old, which is a weird thing because I asked myself, who else in country music is 50? And then I couldn't answer the question because people stopped talking about it, especially men. They just like ambiguously start flipping tires in the parking lot, and they keep working out and going
Uh-huh.
up and singing more Kenny Chesney songs, whatever. And and so you just don't know how old somebody is. And I was like, wow. So I totally skipped like 2 birthdays because we were locked up.
Sure.
And so when we came back out of all of this, the music business was very, very different.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of people had to pivot. There were lots of different thoughts and things. And I suggested, just being silly one day, it was like, man, you know what? You can put out so much music now. You don't have to manufacture it all. Why wouldn't somebody put a song out every week? And they were like, oh, yeah, definitely don't do that. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, yeah. I was like, but that's what people consume. Like, if my favorite band put out a new song every week, you'd be hard pressed to pry my headphones away from me as I listen to yet another U2 song or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And if I knew it was coming every week, I'd freak out. And so the record company that holds the Sugarland contract, I just called them just to be nice, to say, hey, look, I know you don't have me as a solo artist, but I'm going to release 52 songs on my 52nd birthday. And I just wanted to let you know so you don't read it in the newspaper.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And pretty quickly, the guy who runs that called me back, and he was like, hey, you shouldn't put them all out at one time. And I was like, yeah, okay. And you shouldn't put them out once a week. And I was like, okay. He goes, well, what you should do is put them into 4 albums and release them like every 3 months, because the singles come out, and then 2 weeks later another one, and then another one, and then your record comes out. And so pretty much for the last 16 months, I've been putting out music every 3 months, like a teenager on a treadmill with like nothing but cheeseburgers in front of you that you keep walking toward, but you can never get there. And so what it has done is, first of all, it has freaked out all of my friends and
Sure.
neighbors, because I put out as much music in a year as Sugarland did in an entire career. You got to get your head around that. Like,
Yeah.
that's an odd thing, right? Bands usually stay together about 8 years. Most artists have between 6 and 8 albums, and then they flutter away. Like, even Fleetwood Mac can't get another album out of themselves, like they
Sure.
just keep going back to the old one. And this all happened very quickly. So the music that's coming out literally right now is the first release since this collection of 4 albums. So I've just kept the pace up.
If you go to kristianbush.com, you click on music, you can see this. So they're kind of spread out, like you said, 52 this year, 52 New Blue in the key of summer, and then a really cool collaboration with some horns down in
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta with the ATL and the BNA album there. So when you have to, did these albums come together? Like, so the 10 songs that are in ATL time BNA, did that come together? You go, these are the 10 great songs here. Or was it hard to connect these into four separate albums?
It was pure panic. It was that particular one. I knew I had to start there because I had weirdly been thrust into having a solo career. My singing partner in Sugarland, Jennifer, had decided she wanted to have a baby and didn't want to be in Sugarland anymore. She just wanted to like do it herself. And I was like, well, go for it. You know, I have two kids. I get it. And I knew her before she joined the band. So she was my old opening act.
Uh-huh.
So I knew she had this great voice and wanted us to use it, but her records didn't do so well. And my solo record that I put out literally just to make money so I could keep paying for my life, it blew up, and it had like a top 15 hit in country. Like it was like like people were like, "Oh man, have you heard this song?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." They're like, "No."
No, you're in a band. This is a solo
Yeah,
guy.
they hadn't really heard me sing in Sugarland. We just hear Jennifer, right? So that happened, and then right as I was going to follow that up, I had put together this ATLXBNA record, and right then I got a phone call from Jennifer saying, "Hey, let's put the band back together.
Uh-huh.
I want to do this again." And I was like, "Oh, okay, perfect." So I knew when I got the opportunity that was going to be the first set of songs, and they were already done, and it would buy me a little time
Uh-huh.
to start the rest of the process.
You
So those
mentioned
weren't hard.
okay.
They are, if you like, a lot of people, Sugarland is like a gateway drug for country music. Like, I don't like country music, but I love what you do.
Right.
You know, there's a lot, I get that a lot. And the Atlanta, Nashville ATL XBNA record is an experiment of squishing together these incredibly well-crafted songs that I wrote with songwriters in Nashville with these incredible like Atlanta players. Like there's like Aretha Franklin's horns are on there, like Jill Scott's people are on there. I mean, it's insane. The people that I can't even play that music. It's so strange.
Tell me a little bit about when you have the album here with your influences from the 90s and how that has led into some of the songwriting. And then, too, still how what you do through today.
Sure. The third incarnation of the 52, like the sequential albums, it fell into the sort of the fall is where it was going to get released. We knew it was going to be October, November, something where it was cold. And as I was putting them together, I thought they were going to be a bunch of love songs. And literally about 2 weeks before it was due, I realized that when I rearranged them with the songs that I thought were going in the album after it, I found that the through line is that they all sounded like my previous band's life. So I had a record deal in the 90s on Atlantic Records. So if you imagine for a second, just erase all of the country music in your brain
Okay.
that's associated with me.
Okay.
I signed my record deal in 1992. So our first record came out in 94. And so my peers are Matchbox 20.
Yep.
They got signed the same month. Jewel, Hootie and the Blowfish got signed the month after us. Stone Temple Pilots were the guys that were making all the money on the record label. I was on Atlantic Records out of New York, which was like Led Zeppelin's label.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it was
huge.
It was completely not connected to anything in the world. And there was this resurgence of songwriters being able to make rock bands suddenly, and they were somewhat folk rock or they were acoustic based. You know, it was the rise of Sheryl Crow. She had just been signed to a record deal. Those are actually my peers. That's why I am that age. And my band was, at the time, I was really happy because we were selling much more than I'd ever sold out of my car. But compared to, say, Hootie, like we sold a couple 100,000 records, which was huge for a little band from Atlanta. But compared to like 16 or 18 million records they sold in a year on the same label, we were like a complete failure, except we weren't. Right. So we went around the world. You might have seen us opening for Melissa Etheridge or we played with Beck and Bob Dylan and all that. Like Beck was starting out, like, so that's actually where my musical history is.
Okay.
So the third installation of 52, the album, is called New Blue. And it is essentially, if you just listen to it and you think about me as being a guy from the 90s, all those songs you're like, oh my gosh, you've been repurposing yourself over and over. Yes, I have.
That's
Yes, Sugarland
amazing.
is like 30 to 40% Billy Pilgrim, right?
Tell me.
So, so you'll recognize some voices like uh, the singer for Spin Doctors is singing with me on one of the songs,
Uh-huh.
and because we were all coming up together.
Man, that's awesome. I was just listening to the Spin Doctors yesterday.
Yeah,
Tell me about the EP Drink Happy Thoughts is out on July 14th. There's a little bit of a single here. I'll add that to the interview, but tell me about this and then let's talk about Union. Talk about Tacoma and then Union.
sure. Somewhere in the middle of COVID, I'll try to make this super fast. I got asked to fill in on a concert date on the way to somewhere else, and I told my agent, sure, but like, keep me safe. And they're like, okay, bring a band, but listen, Kristian, just play your summertime beach songs. And I was like, what? He's like,
Uh,
yeah, don't ask me, just do that. And so I rolled into the gig, and it was like a Saturday night in Key West at a resort, like a private resort. And I was like, oh, this, you know, uh, they're paying me enough. This has got to be a real show. I showed up, and I was filling in for Jimmy Buffett's band. The Coral Reefer band had canceled. I guess
what?
Jimmy didn't want them out in the COVID space, and so I rolled in and started playing my sort of beachy, fun, happy country songs.
Uh-huh.
And it was for the International Parrot Head gathering, which is this international fan club gathering of Jimmy Buffett fans. And suddenly, they all looked at me like I was
Right.
their perfect cousin
Right.
that had not shown up to the party till now. And my brother even like was playing with me. He's like, man, if you get too close to the edge of that stage, they're going to take you home with them. Like, it was that
Wow.
good. So I went home and I kind of wrote myself a note, like, next time I write from scratch, I should really take a minute and write songs from this moment, right? To because these people need new music, and I can write that.
Yeah.
And so I did. About 6 weeks ago, I sat down. I'm also a music producer, so I have an artist named Megan Maroney I just produced,
Yeah.
and she just had the number one song in America 2 weeks ago, and gratefully I produced it. So in a couple of months, I'll tell you how much that pays. Um, and right as I finished her session, I asked the players to stay an extra day, and we recorded all these songs that are coming out in 2 weeks.
That's
So
amazing. Yeah, Megan Maroney, Tennessee Orange is the name of that song that Christian was just talking about there. So we'll play some of that when you're in
yeah,
Tacoma. And this music and your style, your feel that I can get over this Zoom conversation is going to be perfect for Union. You may not leave Union after you play there. You may stick around for Hoodstock. I don't know about that. So, anyways, it's at the Robin Hood Village, and talk to me a little bit about the solo tours and difference
yeah, yeah.
between that and the big tour when Sugarland is out and about. And it's at 7 o'clock Thursday the 13th at the Robin Hood in Union. The day before in Tacoma at the Elks.
Yeah, it's they're two different kinds of shows. But what's fun is I've started to learn through the years how to write a song so that it works both places, right? What's I'm bringing my brother with me, so he is the younger, taller, better tattoos, more talented, more interesting, more handsome version, right? He was in the band Train for a long time. He
Okay,
was
yeah,
piano player for them. So Brandon's coming with me, and the two of us typically will roll in. And because we're brothers, something happens when we're on stage where I'm able to start playing songs that he doesn't know yet, and then we kind of innovate while we're playing. So
okay,
you're not quite sure what might happen, but the fun part about it is in these kinds of shows, you get to hear things in the songs and about the songs you might not have thought. These days, we have access to so much. Like I can't believe that I'm watching 6, seasons of something on Netflix, and then I find myself on my phone like digging into IMDb or Wikipedia about what I'm watching, and I'm like, huh, that's what these solo shows feel like. So it's like I'm going to give you a bunch of information that you never thought of with songs you hear on the radio all the time.
Wow.
So it's super fun. And then of course I'm always making things, right? So I reluctantly write musicals. I'm on my 4th one. I can't stand them, but it has taught me how to allow this kind of music to just sort of creep out at any moment. I have a feeling your town sounds like the kind of town which I would just call ahead and say I'm staying.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of great accommodations, and I am sure by the end of the night there will be someone there.
Oh man.
There's a
And my
lot
brother too. Like
I saw him on your on the songsofthearchitect.com website. You guys just did something for Turner Classic Movies, and I can see that in there too. We're
the rabbit hole you always worried you might step into and then like get lost in.
I totally got lost getting prepped for this, and it's amazing. So
did you find the video game stuff yet?
No, where's that?
That's okay. Never mind.
Okay. All right. We got to get back focused.
Okay. I'll tell you the name of it, and then that's all you'll get.
Okay.
It's called My Singing Monsters.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to check it out.
Okay.
My Singing Monsters.
And then let it go.
Okay. All right, Kristian, we can get tickets on your website, kristianbush.com. Right there on the front page of the website, you scroll down a little, you see shows, and this is going to be a great one. You'll also be at the Bertelsen Winery in Mount Vernon, and then heading down to California for a while, so a very fun tour for you. And then what about Sugarland? Anything going on there with those guys, with you and the band?
Yeah, well, next year is our 20th anniversary of being a band.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
So if I were you, I would definitely get on to the new Thread. I'm sure that's where we all are now, right?
Is that what that's called? The new app that just came out?
Yeah, we're jumping over into Thread. I got the, hey, you're important. The day before we launch this, you should launch yours. I was like, whatever.
Wow.
I woke up late today and hit the button. But follow Sugarland everywhere, including Thread.
Okay.
And you can actually, if you'll go to my website, there's a text number. You can text into this number.
Yep.
It literally goes to an app on my phone, and it's where I send all tickets ahead of time, all music ahead of time. It's what used to be called a fan club.
Okay. Yeah.
I would just say, text me, and you will find out where Sugarland's going to be before everyone else, because that's the cool part about loving your favorite band. 404-449-8054. I'll put the links to that. Also, all the social media is available there as well. What a great conversation. It was really nice talking with you. Thank you, Jeff. I can't wait to hang out in the same space.
It would be very nice. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go to the show. I'm running this Ragnar relay race, and we're leaving.
You're running the Ragnar, or a Ragnar?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, you want to trade?
Is there a fire or something that you need to run from?
No, I don't know what it was. My wife says, you want to do Ragnar? I said, why not? Let's try it. So.
Oh, she did it.
Yeah. So we're going to do it together.
Bad for you at all.
We'll do it together. And unfortunately it's that day, but we may have to figure out something else. Kristian.
That's all right.
What a nice conversation. And you be well. Have a great night. It was nice talking to your dog as well before the interview started.
What do you think, Lily? Huh?
Do I pass muster? What a good dog. All right, sir. I'll let you to it. You have a good one, and have a great tour. And congratulations on all your success and continued success.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff.
That's awesome. All right. Kristian Bush, again, he is going to be in Tacoma, in Union, in Mount Vernon, and find out more about him and all that he has to offer at kristianbush.com.